But now let's look at the other side of the spectrum. What do you want to hear? The golden rush. Today we're gonna talk about something very interesting, and some people I anticipate might not like it, but what we can do. So, this is Paolo, this is Conversations in Artificial Intelligence, and we're gonna talk about how much an artificial intelligence product manager makes. Now, obviously there is not a simple answer to this thing because it really depends on which country you are in, which part of the country you are in, and which company you are in. So there are lots of factors. So we're gonna do a very simple thing. We're gonna go into Silicon Valley, which is one of the most expensive places in the world, the highest salaries in the tech industry, and I'm gonna give you some numbers. And if you don't believe them, patience, they're not gonna be perfect because obviously I don't know for sure, but this is what more or less I know from experience and from also what other people are telling me. So, in general, an artificial intelligence product manager can expect to make 15 to 20% more than generalist product managers. And a little bit is because of the hype, a little bit is also because of the expertise, and a little bit is because if you particularly work in consumer companies, not only just the Google of the world, but even other type of consumer companies, there is a lot of revenue and a lot of profit that is driven by artificial intelligence. So you are at the center of production of really profit, and that's the reason why it pays a little bit more. But so, having said that, how much does it pay? Of course, it also depends on which is your level and so on. Let's take a senior product manager. So let's take somebody that has 4 to 5 years experience, okay? And it's not really a beginner, it's not a VP or anything. So in general, in Silicon Valley, I would say that the average thing is anywhere between $160,000 and $200,000 a year, and that's gonna be the average. I would say the 70% of companies will pay in that range, but of course there are exceptions, both on the one side, on the lower side, and on the upper side. So on the lower side first, some of the startups, some of the companies that typically these are companies that they have like 50 million, $100 million revenue. They're pretty stable, so there is not much space for growth. They want to grow, but there's not much space for growth, and so they cannot attract more investments. They kind of live, they can go ahead well, but they cannot get into that too much. So they don't participate that much into the salary rise type of fight that you have in Silicon Valley. And so there, it can go down to under 30-ish, under 40-ish, but difficult that it goes below that, because then it becomes almost impossible for them to find anyone. All right, so in the startups, however, you also have all the equity package. I don't want to go into that. It's sophisticated. There are lots of covenants that come with that, and of course there is the most obvious thing, which is if it goes out of business, you get nothing. And in fact, the reason why you go to work in a startup is actually it shouldn't be money. It should be learning. In my view, because that's the biggest opportunity that you have, and also you can propel your career quite a bit if it picks up, basically. But now let's look at the other side of the spectrum. What do you want to hear? The golden rush. So the top 30% companies, these are really usually the large companies or the very, very top startups. So it can go anywhere between 200, 300 for a good other, let's say 10 to 15% of companies. And then there is the creme de la creme, the top of the top, which are those 7, 8 companies that you name them, which ones they are: Google, Facebook, Netflix, Apple, LinkedIn, Uber, Lyft. This is la creme de la creme. No, this is they're known to pay a lot. What I have heard that it is between 300 and 400K. This is the complete package, so it means there is the bonus, there is the equity, And so this is not something that you get every month, it's something you get at the end. I have been I have been part of the top 30%, so I can tell you it can go above 200, but I haven't been really in those 5 or 6 companies, so I can tell you for sure, but I know because I have people that work there, and that seems to be the the standard. So that's also the reason why everybody wants to become an AI product manager in Silicon Valley, and that's the reason why everybody wants to work in those 7 companies here in Silicon Valley. I mean, it's one of the reasons, but I think it's the driving reason. So now that you know the little secret, think of it. Think of the huge difference that is there between this type of activity and other type of activities. And if you want to get involved, you can watch a lot of videos in this channel. So one of the reasons why I do these more general videos is just to get you going. There are lots of videos here that are much more specific on specific sectors. So we have over 500 videos that you really, only these videos will give you a lot. But in addition to that, I do also have a course, and this course is really geared towards where I think is the biggest opportunity in artificial intelligence, which is what I call the intrapreneur opportunity. So it's somebody that can make the bridge between the pure data scientists and the very top management that hasn't been educated as an artificial intelligence. So for that, you go on innodemia.com and you'll find a lot about our course that really will prepare you to harness this huge opportunity. Thank you very much, and see you at the next episode.